Okay, folks, this is Tony Aguilar again, and here we got another unboxing. This is a vehicle that many people have probably already built one of. Maybe not necessarily this model, but of this particular vehicle. This is, of course, a King Tiger, Tiger 2, Royal Tiger, depending on how you want to look at it. And from Pegasus Hobbies, you can't tell because Noble Knight decided to put their inventory sticker right there. 1/72nd scale. These are pretty inexpensive, less than $15, and you get two of the tanks in here. So we're going to do an unboxing on this, and then we'll put one of them together, and I can talk about what I learned along the way. I have put Pegasus kits together, and they're surprising. They are, you open them and you think, oh, this isn't very good. The plastic's kind of thin, but they go together really, really well. Plastic's kind of brittle normally. We'll see if that's the case on this German one. I've only built Soviet ones so far, but here's the little bit of the history of it. I'm not going to go read into that. You can look at that online, probably more detailed. 14 plus is the age on this, nothing on the back. Let's take a look and see what we have inside. Like I said, there's two kits that are in here, so they are a good value. However, there's always a catch. They don't come with any decals, and they don't come with any crew figures. The good news is they don't have any crappy crew figures, so you don't have to worry about that, but there are no decals. And let's take a look and see what we've got inside. And their plastic always looks super, super shiny. They are quick build kits. I don't know if I mentioned that. And here's the hull, which honestly is pretty small. I was expecting it to be bigger. Yeah. Let's just take some of the sprues out because, of course, there's two sets of everything on here. We have a hull. We have the turret. Hey, this doesn't look anything like the ones in the Battle of the Bulge movie. Yeah. The bottom section of the hull, one piece, so you don't have to try to struggle to put those three pieces together that are sometimes warped and they don't go together. The entire running gear all together. It looks like, well, this is interesting. These pieces go, on this side. So the back is fully detailed. That's kind of nice. Yeah, these road wheels will go glued on the front. They have pretty good detail on them. Steel road wheels, you don't have to paint rubber on them. Well, these guys, I'm sure, are pretty freaking noisy. Detail on the track is a little lacking, but they are wargaming models. There's no specific detailing on there. Where's the business end here? The 88L71. And machine gun here, double exhaust, the jack, the hatch open or close. We will make one of each, as we like to do. I like putting figures in some of these vehicles because it kind of gives you an idea of size, but this thing ought to go together pretty quick. So and I will put this thing together and show you guys what I think of it and what we learned along the way and whether you should get one. Okay, folks, so here we are with the finished King Tiger from Pegasus, and I've got to say that this was, I don't know about a challenging build. It was a lot of unexpected stuff, and honestly, this is a pretty piss-poor model, and I'll go into why here for those of you guys that might be interested in this. Now, I've put together several Pegasus models before, and I found that the plastic was really thin, it was well detailed, and went together well, and was deceptively, looked like it wasn't going to be a very good kit. I suspect, without checking, that this is probably one of the first iterations for Pegasus in 1/72nd scale. This vehicle, for starters, is extremely glossy. So glossy that at some point the weld cement doesn't even work on it. A lot of the pieces didn't fit well together. It's extremely brittle, which after I got a couple of nicks here that I've got to fix, no big deal, but From working on some really good stuff recently, I wasn't used to how brittle this one was. The back plate actually is okay, except the exhaust doesn't fit on there really well. Really had to force it in there, and there's no real catch for the back plate to fit on there. One of the problems, this also has my award. I don't know if you would call it that. This also gets the award for the worst instructions I've ever seen. Here is the instructions, which is just one piece. Now, normally you'd be like, okay, well, that's not a big deal. But remember, this is supposedly for a 14-plus-year-old. Okay? There's no way a 14-plus-year-old is going to do this properly because it doesn't show you, here's the suspension stuff, and this stuff is super, super glossy. And somebody could say, well, you didn't wash the model. That's not going to make a difference on here. This is brittle, glossy, doesn't have a lot of detail. I'm not going to really knock the detail on the track and stuff like that. It is kind of a quick build kit for wargaming. But there's no instructions of where to put these road wheels in the middle here. It doesn't say anything about the sprockets, where they go. The sprockets, when you put them in there, they actually don't fit. And you can't attach this to the undercarriage. You can't, if you attach the sprockets to the undercarriage and force them to fit, as soon as you pop them out, it will pop them out. So I had to use super glue and all kinds of stuff that I normally don't have to use. The detail on the running gear isn't bad. It is just super, super glossy. The hull is devoid of any kind of spare parts or anything like that. There are the GHQ 1/285th scale King Tigers have more detail than this. This isn't bad, but there's no tools. There's no even molded on cables. That's not on there. It's just really, really basic looking. The back of the turret wouldn't fit on. I had to epoxy it. I almost epoxied it. I had to use super glue. It does give you option for having an open hatch, but it doesn't even have, even though there's a hole here for the hatch to rotate, it does not have a peg for it to go. So I had to epoxy it in place and then hold it while it dried. The jack is totally, you've got two holes, and it is just fraught with all kinds of problems. Fraught with all kinds of problems that it really shouldn't have. So I'm thinking this is probably their first thing that they went into knowing. You can see that normally King Tigers sometimes have some added pieces of spare link of tracks, and it looks like there's markings there for that to happen, but none of them are included. So it's almost kind of like this is right out of the factory, rushed out of the factory to the front. And they put a green crew in there and have fun. Yeah, so not impressed. Now, luckily, these are pretty inexpensive, but most Pegasus stuff is really, really inexpensive, and it's a lot better quality than this one. And I'll show you an example of some of them. These are the Pegasus models I did build, and I was fairly happy with them. The KV-1. It is a fine detail. So I'm not knocking Pegasus Hobbies. I'm just knocking this particular model. This thing turned out stellar. And it even gives you, each one has 2 turrets for each KV. This is the same thing. This is a KV-2. It's the same kit out of them. Really nice kit. Fits together really well. Almost can put it together with no glue. And when you do use glue, it sticks together, no problem. Here's the BT-7s. Really nice detail, crisp. It looked like it was kind of thin, the plastic in a few areas. But they turned out fine. A nice model. This thing isn't it. This King Tiger, like I said, it's probably the first thing that they made. I'm probably making excuses for them, but don't go out and buy this. It's just not worth. It's if you like adding a bunch of extra parts on there, cool. But the main thing is that it's almost like they had these designs to make it better, and it just didn't do anything with it. And the track is, it doesn't stay on really well. So it is really poor, even though you can get these for two of them for about $15. There's better things out there. Only reason I got these is they happen to have them at, I could use my credit on Noble Knight, and that's where I got all these unboxings. But rarely does it come across that there is something kit as poor as this one. And unfortunately, this is one of them. Now, with that said, it probably will paint up okay. I'm going to have to, I may even use an enamel primer just to make sure that it stays down. But yeah, the detailing when it has it isn't bad. It's just missing, there's no cable here. There's no shovels. There's no extra parts. You're going to have to supply that kind of stuff or just model something that comes right out of the factory. So anyways, that's unfortunately my review of this thing, and I would not recommend this. I don't know that it's going to affect me not buying Pegasus models again, because like I said, I've had really good experience with them. I also have some T26s I didn't bring up here, but they do paint up really well. They're really crisp, and like these kits fit together really well. The King Tiger did not at all. So, and the JS2 I built yesterday. I did a review of that one. The JS2 is just fine. It's just this one in particular. Actually, the JS2 is wonderful. This is the same manufacturer. Okay, this has freaking holds here for the tank riders. It has a separate anti-aircraft machine gun. It has weld marks here on the turret where they go together. This is the same manufacturer as this King Tiger, and it's night and day difference. So yeah, I wouldn't discount Pegasus Hobbies necessarily, but I wouldn't get the King Tiger model. It is just, it's basically trash. It's not worth your time, folks. So anyways, hopefully you found this useful. And I do plan on getting more Pegasus Hobby vehicles. I'm just not going to get any more of these. So, and I didn't see any reviews that were negative about this. So I just want folks to know, hey, don't waste your time on this. Get another model instead. So, okay, until next time, and two kits come in here, so I'm not really excited about building the other one, but they'll probably paint up okay, yeah, really weird, odd things. This is almost like something that would have been acceptable in the 1970s or something like that. But anyhow, don't forget to like and subscribe for more of these type of videos. We've got lots of unboxings and builds left to do where I can show you what's inside the kits, and I can build them and tell you what to look for. And unfortunately, this just is not one of the stars of this. So, okay, folks, stay tuned, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.